Assalamu alaikum Lifians. I'm Asma and you're watching Lifi, where I share Muslim life hacks from my life and experiences as a Muslim in Australia. And in this video series, we'll be starting Ramadan preparation because from now, at the time of filming, we have around 8 weeks left for Ramadan. This series is going to be based on Ramadan Ready ebook that I wrote last year, and this is available for anybody who would like to download it. I will be putting the link in the description and the comments. I'll do my best to post videos on these, whatever I've written on this. There's 24 different chapters, and there's no guarantee though, because I do have a 1-year-old to look after, inshallah. So that's that. And another thing is, if you do share this Ramadan ebook with other people, not only do you get the rewards for benefiting other people in their deen, but also inshallah you'll get 50% of the sale of the ebook. So let's get right into it. Now, the first topic for this series is Ramadan preparation. And this chapter is chapter 3, Unleash Your Ramadan Potential, Set Your Goals. So what I would like to start off with is to remind you guys that every Ramadan is different. Every year is different. Ramadan is different for everybody, as a high school student, as a university student, as somebody who's working, as a new wife, as a new mom. And every year is different because Ramadan comes and goes in different seasons of the year, and every time it's different. So it's really good to be prepared in advance and to have goals set in advance so that you know what you're headed towards, inshallah. Now, the basis of this goal setting and Ramadan preparation is to keep in mind that the bigger the goals, inshallah, the higher your achievements. Now, even if those goals are not realistic, you will inshallah do what you can to get to that point, or you might even go higher than what you've expected of yourself. So I really go by this quote that says, aim for the stars, for even if you fall short, you will land on the moon. So stars are up here, and even if you don't reach that, you can at least get here, which is way beyond what you thought you could achieve. So that is the basis of this video. Number one thing to remember in this, when you're planning for your goals for Ramadan, is that you are not competing with anybody else. You are competing with yourself at this stage you are at, because you were probably different last year and you were different before that as well. Your capacity is different right now, so I want you to plan according to your capacity this year. So for that, you need to understand how your life has changed from last year to this year, and that's how you will be reflecting on that and creating goals for this year, inshallah. So few questions that I would like you to ask yourself is, how has life changed since last Ramadan? For example, last year I had a newborn. This year I have a 1-year-old. So she has completely different requirements. My schedule from last year is completely different than this year. So that's one thing. Before that, before having a baby, I was a new wife and I was a pregnant lady as well. So again, that differs from having a newborn baby. Before that, I was a working lady, and that also is very different from being a married and a working lady. So there's so many things that you have to consider. How has your life changed since last Ramadan? And then following up from that question, you need to think about, how do those changes affect your Ramadan this year? So my reflection would be that last year I was struggling with a newborn baby. I did not know anything about how babies work and what the schedule looks like. So my whole day flipped over. Like, my days were nights and my nights were days, and so were the babies as well. Everything was just... This year, inshallah, it looks like things are a bit more settled down. She is a bit more accustomed to earth. I know how I should be feeding her, what her schedule looks like, what her nap time looks like. I have a bit more understanding of how my day would probably look like, if not everything. The next question I would like you to ask yourself is, how will you balance your spiritual and physical needs during Ramadan while considering your current life situation? So think about considering, again, it's just a follow-up from your first question. How are you going to be considering everything that you have, all the responsibilities you have right now? How are they going to fit in with Ramadan? How does your ideal day look like? What does your day look like right now? And how are you going to fit in the Ramadan responsibilities that you want to put in for yourself? Just, even if you don't have an answer for that, I would just like you to think how you're going to do that. Just reflect, pretty much. What these questions are here for is for reflection, for you to just think about the things that you might miss. All right. Now, once you've done thinking about that, I want you to delve into these few topics and plan for that, inshallah. Number one is Quran. Ramadan is the month of the Quran. So most of us have Quran goals. Now, so many of us would want to do a lot of khatams of Quran, even if that's one khatam, or a lot of us would like to go into reflection of the tafsir of the Quran, look into translations and stuff. So what are your Quran goals? Are you looking to read a page every day? Are you looking to finish the Quran from cover to cover throughout the month? Are you looking to delve deeper into the meanings and have a heart to heart with the meaning and what Allah is saying in the Quran? How are you going to go do this? Are you going to look at videos, lectures online? Are you going to attend certain classes? How are you going to do that? What is your goal for the Quran? What are your Quran goals for this month? Write that down. Inshallah, my goal will be very simple, is to finish one khatam of the Quran. That is the minimal thing that I can aim for, because again, I have a few responsibilities that I need to take care of, and that is the best that I can aim for at this stage. Inshallah, if I can, I will also try to watch a lecture or listen to a lecture while I'm doing my other household chores about anything to do with the Quran or Hadith, and any stories that I can look at, anything, maybe one video per day, one lecture per day would be the goal, inshallah. Secondly, how are you going to do your best to reduce the time that you spend in dunya things? So for example, this would be, for me, would be related to food preparation, cleaning, etc. So how would you plan to minimize your time spent on all these things so that you can maximize your time with the extra good deeds that you want to do in Ramadan, inshallah? So for that, I have already begun my meal prepping I have chopped onions and I've frozen them in the freezer so that I don't have to spend a lot of time chopping them before cooking anything in Ramadan. It's ready to go. I just take some from the freezer and start cooking, inshallah. That's one thing I can do. And then secondly, I can also start marinating all the meat that I want to prepare in Ramadan and put it in the freezer so that it's just ready to cook. I just pop it into the pot and start cooking. So pretty much doing my best to minimize as much time as it takes to cook, inshallah. I can also plan in advance what meals would be good for Ramadan. I will still be breastfeeding my baby, so I have to look at the nutrition side of things for that as well. I have to look at what food I'm going to feed my baby, because she's on the solids now, 3 meals a day, alhamdulillah. And then again, my husband's needs would be different. He would want different stuff to have with what he's comfortable for suhoor, for iftar and stuff. He has a different routine to myself. He works during the evening hours, so iftar preparations for that would be in the morning, packing it in his lunchbox and all of that. So just thinking of all of these things. And cleaning, inshallah, I will do my best to, finish all the cleaning before Ramadan begins, room by room, pantry, the fridge, whatever I can, inshallah. And that way in Ramadan, I would not spend a lot of time cleaning, maybe the minimal things, just a little bit of vacuum here and there, a little bit of wiping stuff around. But the deep cleaning stuff happens before Ramadan, inshallah. That's the plan. And then maybe a little bit before Eid as well. But yeah. Now again, keeping in mind that I like to have my intention for the dunya chores as well, to be for the sake of Allah, so that I'm not just wasting time. It doesn't feel like I'm wasting time. And it's still, because it's for the sake of Allah, it converts into acts of worship. For example, is cooking. I would like to cook for my families and provide nutritious, healthy meals for them. And inshallah, my niyyah here is to make Allah happy through this. So that's one thing. So you pretty much have Allah on your mind for everything that you're doing, and you turn every act of every deed that you do into an act of worship just by simply changing your niyyah and remembering Allah in that. So that's the second thing. First one was Quran goals, and second one was preparing to reduce time in dunya deeds. Thirdly is a follow-up of that is meal planning. So what are your nutritional needs? What would you need to survive throughout the day? So for example, Ramadan here is, for the first time, I'm going to be experiencing Ramadan in warm days. Daylight saving time will finish on 7th of April 2024, and inshallah that will be those will be in the last days of Ramadan, or potentially Eid days. Like that's going to be towards the end of Ramadan. That means this will be the first time that I am doing Ramadan in daylight saving times throughout Ramadan. So which means we have longer days. We have early Fajr and a little bit late Maghrib. At the moment, right now, Fajr is at 4:30 a.m. and Maghrib is at 8:45 p.m. So you can imagine how long that is, which might not seem like a long time for most of you guys, but for us, it is a big deal. You would also want to plan your day, what your day would look like. When would you get up? When would you do food preparations before you sleep, after you wake up, or 50-50. And then when would you plan to read your Quran throughout the day? What do you do? Do you work? What are you going to do? What does your day look like from start to finish? When are you going to sleep? If you're working night shifts, how are you going to maintain that? How are you going to manage your tarawih? All of these things, like plan your day. What would your ideal day in Ramadan look like? So these are the 3 things that I would like you to plan. What I'm preparing for, inshallah, is my Quran goals. Secondly, how am I going to reduce my time spent in dunya stuff so that I can spend more time in the deen stuff? And thirdly, what is my ideal day going to look like? These are the 3 things that I would like you to plan and prepare for in this video, inshallah. So once again, this was all based on the Ramadan Ready ebook that I wrote last year, and if you would like to purchase it, the link is in the description and the comments, inshallah. Until next time, live your beliefs and stay tuned to Blippy.
So my dream for Jannah grows day by day, and I pray to Allah to guide me all the way till I make it to His paradise.